Laptop charging.
All right. Are we recording on purpose right now?
Let me.
We're going to record this for prosperity and posterity, or whatever that $10 word is. And we're going to kick this off. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, excuse me, the May Urban Chamber of Commerce Coffee and Commerce. This is our monthly morning networking event, and what an event it is. We have almost 40 people here this morning, so I thank all of you for being here. And we're gonna, that's right, Ronnie, I'm as excited as you are. Thank you for the fist pump. Thank you. This is why I like having the camera on, so we can have some interaction with one another. But Ned, it's always good to see you. I can't wait for a live event so I can have some more funnel cake, but we can always come down to your shop. You're open, so glad about that as well. We know a lot of businesses can't say that that they're open. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. And again, as I said, we're going to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves. And with such a large crowd, I want to make sure that I'm very, very succinct on how those introductions are going to go. So let me start by saying, excuse me, what we ain't going to do, what we not going to do. This is not your opportunity to talk about the next 5 events you have coming up. This is not your opportunity to talk about the next special that you have for your business. Even though your business is very, very special, we want to make sure that we get through these introductions as succinctly as we can. So we're only asking for 3 things and 3 things only. The first thing is your name. Let me just do a quick check. Nod your head if you know your name. Okay, very good. The second thing is your company name. You all know what your company name is, right? Okay, good. So we're going to get through this very quickly. Now, the third thing can be a little tricky, but I believe in you. I believe in all of you this morning. Well, I believe in you yesterday too. But the third thing is, what is a good lead or referral for your business? A good lead or referral for your business. In other words, who are you looking to meet? So for example, my name, Darren Mitchell. The company I represent is Legal Shield. A good lead or referral for me is any business owner or business professional that understands the importance of having access to attorneys and consulting to protect and grow your business. See how simple that was? See, I know that y'all can do the same thing. I know you can do it and keep it within about 30 seconds. And I know when I say 30 seconds, everyone's going to take a minute, but I believe in you that you're going to keep it within 30 seconds. Your name, your company name, and what is a good lead or referral. So I thank all of you for being here. We're excited that all of you are here. And I'm gonna go. This is the best part of the morning for me, is I get to play the Brady Bunch and go through all the different squares and Hollywood squares. I know I'm aging myself right now. Some of y'all don't even know a Hollywood square. Wait, y'all do, because VH1 did a remake with the hip hop version and some Hollywood Wise versions. But anyway, I'm gonna go through all the squares in the order that there are on my screen. And so I'm gonna give you a heads up when it is your turn. So starting on my left, Joseph Lee, you are up first, and Lance Jones, go ahead and unmute. You're gonna be on deck. Mr. Joseph Lee, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Happy May. My name is Joseph Lee. My company is Spot On Transact. And a good lead for me is any small business owner who is interested in building their marketing, saving some dollars on their credit card processing, and bringing customers back to their business.
Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. So glad that you were here. Oh my goodness. Mr. Silva, go ahead and unmute. I'm not going to mess up your name. I don't mess up pretty women's name, and all of you ladies qualify. Lance, go ahead and introduce yourself. Mr. Silva, you're on deck. Lance, go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you. Love your
Hold on,
energy.
Mr. Silva. Lance is first. I just want you to unmute so you can be ready.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. I talk fast and sometimes I talk slow. But Lance, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lance Jones. My company name is Quality Life Therapy. A good lead for me would be anyone who needed rehabilitation services across the board, including from peds to adults.
Awesome, Lance. Thank you so much. Glad that you are here. Alexandria, go ahead and unmute. You're on deck. Ms. Da Silva, it is now your turn.
Moraima Da Silva. I work for William Charles Construction, a heavy civil construction company in Vegas and Utah. And a good lead will be any small business that is looking to do business in construction. And I'm looking to connect with Mr. David Eclipse. So I'm very excited to see him here.
Awesome. Let's see. I got to take 5 seconds to say that is why we do what we do with the Urban Chamber of Commerce, because this woman came specifically to see one of our panelists. So I'm so glad that connection is made immediately. Not immediately, immediately. So Alexandria, go ahead and unmute. Emmanuel, go ahead and unmute as well. You're going to be after Alexandria. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Glad to be here. My name is Alexandria Hughes. I work for the Employ NV Business Hub. And what we do is, what we're looking for, our perfect person is going to be small businesses looking to tap into state and federal free resources to help their business recover and grow.
Awesome. Free fits the budget. I like that. Thank you so much. Pamela, you're on deck. Go ahead and unmute. Emmanuel, please introduce yourself, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Actually, it's good evening from where I am. I'm from West Africa, Ghana, and glad to connect here. Good lead for me will be, my company actually is into agricultural mechanization. So we created what we call the Uber for tractors, providing mechanization services, digital agric, for farmers in Africa. I'm currently working in 5 countries in Africa. A good lead will be for us to get connected to anyone who want to invest in the agri space in Africa purposely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Emmanuel, for being here. First of all, I got to clap one time because we are now international. We've had folks from different states, from different areas, but this is, our president, Ken Evans, in his absence, has said that we're growing businesses nationally and internationally. And now our coffee and commerce is officially gone international. If this was Sunday morning, I'm going to say it's a praise break, but we're not going to do that right now. So y'all can do it later on. In the meantime, what I want to ask everyone to do, Pamela, I did not forget about you, is in the chat, please put your contact information in the chat, just like you would your business card. We don't need your whole speech. We don't need your whole bio, just your contact information in the chat, please. Because again, since we're not in person and unable to exchange actual business cards, please put your digital business card, if you will, in the chat. I know some of you use things like Linktree and Calendly and things like that as a digital version. Please go ahead and put that in as well, so that when people are getting your information by their introductions, they can make sure that they reach out to you directly and continue these conversations. So please use that chat feature to input your information. And I will encourage you to do that throughout the meeting, because if someone's not on right now, they join later, they will not have access to that when they join. But of course, all of you are Zoom savvy and recognize that. So with that being said, Danette, go ahead and unmute. You are on deck. Pamela, please introduce yourself this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to be here. This is my first time attending. Refuge for Women is a nonprofit organization serving women coming out of human trafficking and prostitution. And a good lead for me would be people interested in learning more about the great work that we're doing here in the city, and also across our nation. We are a national organization, and people, small businesses interested in being a part by helping us out with sponsorships and such. Pamela Prey, great to be here.
Thank you so much. Glad that you were here. Rondalyn, I'm going to call you by your proper name. I got to forget like I know you like that. Go ahead and unmute, please. You're on deck. Danette, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Danette Bro with Bro's Funnel Cake Cafe. A good lead for us would be any small business or anyone looking to cater a party of employee appreciation, customer appreciation, or just love funnel cakes.
Awesome. And teacher appreciation too. Sure, we need those teachers. I think every parent learned how important teachers are in 2020.
We just got off of doing a lot of the teacher appreciation, so it's on my mind. But we do.
I understand.
Always. We love
business is always on your mind. That's why you're so successful.
Absolutely.
Kenyatta Lewis, please unmute. You're going to be on deck. Miss McClintock, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. Rondalyn McClintock. You can call me Ronnie. I am the owner of Feather Nest Co-Learning Group. We are a co-working space right here in your hometown, Las Vegas. We are tech focused and help people upskill. That's all I'm going to say.
Awesome. I appreciate you being succinct. Thank you so much. David, go ahead and unmute. You're going to be on deck. Kenyatta Lewis, please introduce yourself.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Kenyatta Lewis. I'm Executive Director of Supplier Diversity and Sustainable Procurement for MGM Resorts International here in Las Vegas. And my target look for, shout out, outreach to is African-American businesses that are located in the Las Vegas Valley to support our Las Vegas Strip properties. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Yes, we will, because Ms. Lewis is one of our panelists this morning, and we are going to have a discussion on that very topic. See, I told you I wasn't going to say what it was because I knew it was going to come out. Also, one of our panelists, David, go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Good morning, everybody. My name is David Eclipse from McCarran International Airport. I am the ACDBE DBE Liaison Officer for the state. And what I'm looking for is certifying women-owned, minority-owned small businesses in the state. Glad to be here.
Thank you, David. We're glad that you're here. That's a lot of letters that you just threw out. And I'm going to ask you to explain those when the time comes. I'm just saying, because that's a whole lot.
No problem.
Amy, with Envy Energy, one of our proud sponsors here at the Urban Chamber of Commerce, please introduce yourself. Go ahead and unmute.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amy Clark. I'm one of the managers here at Envy Energy and Procurement. And I'm going to put my information in the chat. If you are interested in doing business with Envy Energy, please reach out to me and we'll see if we can find the right fit for you.
Awesome. Thank you. So glad that you are here. Ms. Zepeda, please tell me how to pronounce your first name and unmute to introduce yourself. And Mario, unmute as well. You're on deck.
Hi, my name is Narcisa Cepeda. So Narcisa is in Spanish. It's the name of a flower. So you can call me Daffodil too, because daffodil is the same as Narcisa. But I work for the Office of Traffic Safety. I help coordinate the Zero Teen Fatalities program. So my target demographic are road users from the age of 15 and a half to 21. But in reality, the Office of Traffic Safety wants to offer information of traffic safety to all road users. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being here. See, I flunked 9th grade Spanish after one semester. I don't know why y'all laughing at me. That was a painful moment in my high school career. High school was the worst 6 years of my life. Shoot. So anyway, so that's why I almost messed up your name. So I'm so glad that you were here. Rose Davis, go ahead and unmute. You're on deck. Mario, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Mario Aguilera. I own Alliance Electric Supply Company. We're an electrical distributorship here in Las Vegas. I'd like to thank the Urban Chamber of Commerce for inviting me. I'd like to say that I've come on board today, again, because of the invite, but because Kenyatta Lewis, I'm very interested in working with Kenyatta Lewis and also with Pat Clark with Envy Energy. As an electrical distributorship, we furnished finished electrical products. And as far as I can tell, everyone uses that, whether it's commercial, industrial, or the utility. So I look forward to this conversation. Every time I've gotten online with you guys, I've always learned something. So thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate it very much.
Mario, we are glad that you are here. Thank you for being here. We're glad that you're ready to make connections. And so before we continue, I know there's some folks that just joined us. So I want to give a brief, quick reminder that our introductions are 3 things and 3 things only: your name, your company name, and a good lead or referral for your business. Mario, I wasn't calling you out. There were 3 other people that did it before you. I didn't say anything, but I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate that you were here focused on the connections that you want to make. You're here with a purpose, and I definitely respect that from a networking standpoint and from a business standpoint. So Raven, please unmute. You are on deck. Rose Davis, so glad to see you. Please introduce yourself.
Good to see you as well, Darren. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. I am Rose Davis, Director of Corporate Services and NBE Development for the Western Regional Minority Supplier Development Council. A good lead for me would be a minority-owned business with the capability and desire to do business with corporate America. Thanks, Darren.
That is key, a desire. That's a big word. That's a very big word. Teresa Hinton, please unmute. You are on deck. Raven McSwain with Some New. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Raven McSwain. I am the marketing coordinator for Some New Marketing. And a good lead for me would be anybody, any business owner or organization looking to increase brand awareness, build relationships, and ultimately increase cash flow for your business or organization.
You had me a cash flow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Raven. So glad that you were here. Something New is excuse me, I had to say it right. A huge stalwart supporter of the chamber. And I also want to re-shout out again Envy Energy, because not only are they a supporter, but they are a sponsor, which is a different kind of supporter. That means they write checks. So thank you, Envy Energy, once again. That's important. Look, writing checks is good. Cashing them is even better. Teresa Hinton, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Ms. Ewing, you're already unmuted, but you are on deck. Ms. Hinton, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Hinton, and today I am representing Desert Elite Management. We are a business management firm, and a good referral for our company would be anybody starting new to businesses. We help out with LLCs, marketing, project management, and for those who are transitioning from just having 1 or 2 employees and transitioning into having 5 or more, we also do employee startup and onboarding.
Awesome. Thank you, Teresa. So glad that you are here. Miss Dendy, because I'm not going to mess up your first name either, please unmute. You are on deck. Miss Ewing, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'd like to thank the Urban Chamber for these ongoing opportunities. And my name is Dieta Ewing. I have my company is called RHA BIM 5D. It's a building information modeling or a digital modeling or digital replicas company. We can assist any owner or corporation or individual that needs digital models for marketing or facility management or construction purposes, whether that's design or actually building models. So that's it. And thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before I go to Miss Dendy, and then Brandon, you're on deck, go ahead and unmute. I want to remind everyone to please put your contact information into the chat. And by contact information, that your name, phone number, email would be a good idea. If you have a website, that is definitely a good idea as well. Please put that in the chat so we can be able to continue these conversations and reach you directly to network. For example, there are 2 people who are looking for Teresa's information. So Teresa, please put your information in the chat. These people will need to get to know you. They're looking to connect with you. So Ms. Dendy, please introduce yourself and please tell us how to pronounce your first name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Talea Dendy, and my business is On the Other Side. I am looking for people that have been recently diagnosed with cancer, their friends or loved ones who may be there to support them, oncology nurses, and oncologists. So thank you very much. Again, Talea On the Other Side.
Thank you, Talea. I was going to ask on the other side of what, but now I understand it's a mountain. It's a big mountain. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Once again, in the chat, please put your contact information. I appreciate putting, with those of you that put in your introduction again, but we need to know how to reach you. So thank you. Paige Owens, please unmute. You are on deck. Mr. Ward is ready to go. Mr. Ward, take it away.
All right, Brandon Ward. The We Mentality is our company, where we bring out individuals and teams' full potential. A good lead for me would be any person with a team or any person looking to take their life to the next level or their business to the next level. Thank you.
Awesome. Brandon Ward is changing it up. I like it. We need to talk more. Speaking of talk more, if you want to learn how to talk good and junk, you definitely want to attend Toastmasters. And here at the Urban Chamber of Commerce, we do have a chapter of Toastmasters International. And I know Brandon, being the on-point business person he is, will at some point put that information in the chat as well. Thank you, Mr. Ward, for being here. Ashley Randolph, you're on deck. Please be ready to introduce yourself next after Paige Owens.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Paige Owens. I'm the Supplier Diversity Coordinator at MGM Resorts International. I help with Kenyatta and her team sort through everything and get everything collected for new diverse suppliers, as well adding in sustainability now too.
Awesome. Thank you, Paige. So glad you're here. MGM rolls deep. Those lines roll like a pride, boy, I tell you. Marcel Norman, please unmute. You are on deck. Ashley Randolph, please introduce yourself. Ashley, are you here? Ashley, are you okay? Are you okay, Ashley? Okay, that was funny to me. I appreciate you guys that did get the joke. No, Roddy's like, it wasn't funny. No, that wasn't okay. All right. Marcel, please introduce yourself. Save me, please.
Marcel Norman with the U.S. Bank. I'm a business development consultant. Business that's, we're looking for anyone who's looking for equipment or any type of lending like that. So Marcel Norman with U.S. Bank.
Marcel's got the Monty. Thank you, Marcel. So glad you are here. Linda Taylor, please unmute. Laurie Stevenson, please unmute. And oh, wait, hold on. Ashley's back. There she is. Oh, no, her audio is not connected yet. Okay, I'm gonna wait patiently. I'm gonna come back to Ashley in just a second. Linda, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Linda, are you there? Linda Taylor, we would like to get to know you. All right, that's fine. We're glad that you're here anyway. If you're having some technical difficulty, please make sure that you put your information in the chat. Laurie, I see that you are unmuted. Go ahead and introduce yourself as well. And please let us see you if you have a camera.
My camera's not working right now.
All good. We're glad that your mic is, though.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Laurie Stevenson. I want to open a little bit of tea, a formal English tea house here in Las Vegas. I'm looking for connections for funding and funding ideas.
Awesome. Thank you, Laurie. Glad that you have returned. I remember that business. I couldn't remember the face because your camera's not working, but that's okay. You came back, and that's really all that matters. Ashley was handling business. I can respect that. I appreciate you jumping back on. And so if you would please, Ashley, introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my apologies, but when I gotta go, but I came back. My name is Ashley Randolph. I am here wearing two hats. One is the committee chair for the Economic Development Committee for the NAACP, and the other is as president of the Pink Boots Society of Las Vegas, which is a professional organization for women that earn a living or want to earn a living in the fermented beverage space. So that's beer, wine, distilled liquors, kombucha, all of that tasty stuff. And a good lead for me is anybody that is looking to help support economic development here in Las Vegas, or that works in the liquor space or sells liquor beverages. Thank you.
Awesome, and thank you, Ashley. I cannot wait for us to be able to do a live event again so we can sample, as you put it so eloquently, fermented beverages. That is classy.
Well, we had to change it because it was only beer, but now we're open to wine and everything else. So
I remember that. And since my wife is a wine drinker and I like my brandies and whiskeys and stuff, we got to have a different conversation, but that's not the time right now. Anyway, this is just coffee. It is too early in the morning. So Marcel Scherer, hope I did not mess up that name. Please unmute and introduce yourself. And Sumiko Joyner, unmute as well, please. You are on deck.
Well, good morning, Darren. This is Marcel Scherer representing the Department of Business and Industry. And we are always in the business of helping business owners and entrepreneurs begin a business. So just a reference, please remember the roadmap to access information, resources, and tools for free.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcel. So glad that you are here. Sumiko, just 1 second. Mariah, if you'd unmute, you are on deck. Sumiko, please introduce yourself, and I hope I said your name right.
Yes, you did. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sumiko Joyner I'm the owner of Quick and Easy Transport, General Freight Trucking. A good lead for me would be anyone looking to move their freight. I'm locally here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and looking for direct shippers as well.
Awesome. Thank you. So glad that you were able to join us.
Thank you.
April, please unmute. You are on deck. Mariah, please introduce yourself. Love those blue frames.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Mariah Harriman. I recently left my post at the Governor's Office of Economic Development, and I've taken a leap starting my own consulting firm. So I provide services, again, like Teresa mentioned, LLC setup, software implementation, looking to help any startups or small businesses that are looking to upscale, need assistance with licensing or connecting to local resources here in Vegas.
Awesome. Thank you, Mariah. So glad that you're here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not done so, please put your information in the chat, specifically your contact information, your name, phone number, email, website if you have one. If you fancy like Brandon Ward, put in your link tree. If you fancy like I'm going to be in a minute, put in your Calendly so folks can get right onto your calendar and we can maintain and continue these conversations one-on-one, because there's at least 2 or 3 people on here that I need to make sure I connect with, because I think we should refer business to one another. And I apologize. I don't like to shit on people. That's impolite, but I really think we need to connect. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. So please make sure that your contact information is in the chat so folks can reach out to you directly and continue these conversations. And speaking of continuing, April, would you please help us continue the introductions?
Thank you, Darren. Nice to see everyone. My name is April Christian Davis. I live in Michigan right now, so my business is global. I'm happy to be here. I've been in Vegas a few times. Company name is Breakout Marketing Group. I've been in business for over 25 years. I help businesses pitch their ideas and concepts to investors. So if you need sales and marketing
and an opportunity to pitch your ideas to investors, then I'm the person you should call. Thank you. I'm done speaking.
I appreciate you being succinct. Thank you for being here from Michigan and we're all points as well. Let's see, where was I? All y'all turn your cameras on and off. The musical squares is real over here. I appreciate all of you. Christina Dixon, please unmute. And then Ms. Harris, go ahead and unmute. You're on deck. Christina, please. And if you have a camera, please let us see you this morning to introduce yourself. There you are. Go ahead, Ms. Dixon.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Christina Dixon. I am the principal attorney at ACUS Law. We do employment law advice and counseling and workplace investigations. And an ideal or a good lead for me or referral are employment attorneys, in-house counsel, or HR business partners, as well as relationships with supplier diversity folks or other businesses that support my ideal clients.
Awesome. I like how you did that. Other businesses that support your ideal client, because you got to know your ideal client and then know their support system so you know how to get to them. That was brilliant. That's another level of networking right there. Well played. Well played. Stephanie Roper, please unmute. You're going to be on deck. Quenisha, how you doing? Introduce yourself, please.
I'm good. How you doing, Darren? Good morning, everyone. My name is Quenisha Harris. I am the partner with MGM Resorts International, the team with Kenyatta Lewis, Paige, and Stephanie. We look for local suppliers right now so that we can assist and connect them with MGM properties.
I get the impression that MGM is really making a push to connect with the urban community, the African-American business community. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It just seems to me like that's what's happening. I don't know. Stephanie, do you have anything to say about that?
You're 100% accurate. I'm Stephanie Roper. I'm the manager for Supplier Diversity and Sustainable Procurement. Like Quenisha just said, on Kenyatta's team, we are making a big push right now to help support local in Las Vegas African businesses. Yeah, so thanks for having me.
So glad that you were here. I don't think we could have stopped you because y'all just came in force. Like y'all was gonna knock down the door one way or the other. Of course, that's how Quenisha rolls on a daily basis, but I'm telling her business right now. Sabrina Russell and Kevin, if you please unmute, you are next. So Sabrina, if you would unmute, please introduce yourself. And I apologize, I didn't give you a warning beforehand like I like to do, which is probably why you're not by the red button. It's okay. Kevin, if you're available, please unmute so that you can introduce yourself to these fine folks. That is okay. We're glad that you are both here. We are glad that you're here ready to network. I want to thank everyone for being here and getting this great information. So let me see, I'm going to move some things around on my screen. I want to thank also Nick Steele. He is a stalwart business person here in the community. He's going to put his contact information in the chat. He private messaged me that he wasn't able to chat verbally because he, like many of us, is a very multifaceted entrepreneur. So he's going to put his information in. Yeah, let the church say amen. Amen again. That's right, Brandon. Thank you. One quick question. Ronnie, who's your ideal customer, please? Over at WeWork? Yes, go ahead and unmute. Go ahead and unmute, quick.
Thank you so much. My ideal customer is anyone needing space to do co-working, whether you need an hour, a day, or a dedicated office. If you want to use a conference room, anybody needing workspace, we are co-working center.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you asking me that. And of course, I'm happy to oblige. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you have made it very, very clear that you are here either that's right. We have made it very, some of you have made it very clear. I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat and trying to talk at the same time. That doesn't work for me. I told you high school is the worst 6 years of my life. So reading and talking at the same time does not go well. Why are you laughing at me, Talea? And so, ladies and gentlemen, all of you have made it very clear that you are here to network. You have made it clear that you are here to learn more about procurement. You've also made it clear that you might be here looking for businesses that you can procure as being part of your procurement. And so, the Urban Chamber of Commerce, specifically Delisa Stewart, who I will not put on the spot and ask her to introduce herself because I know that she's doing at least 12 things at once, including running this meeting from the back side or the back end, as it were. I want to give her props because definitely she is the engine that keeps the Urban Chamber of Commerce going. And if you don't believe her, just ask Ken Evans, our president, or ask anyone on our board. Definitely want to give respect to Delisa where I can. That being said, she realized, like all of you who are here, that one of the things that we're looking to do is grow our network as far as businesses. And so we want to give you all an opportunity to learn, if you're a business owner, business professional, how you can take advantage of these procurement opportunities. And so even though they introduced themselves a moment ago, I'm going to give our panelists another opportunity. Excuse me, let me go switch to this. Yes, here we go. I want to give our panelists another opportunity to introduce themselves a little bit more succinctly. There we go. I'm sorry, my screen started doing all kind of funky stuff. There we go. And so as you can see, I hope I'm not the only one seeing this, that Delisa, as I said, is definitely running things from the back, and she has switched the view to our panelists. And as you can see, we have Mr. David Eclipse, Ms. Kenyatta Lewis, and Ms. Rose Davis. And so I'm going to give them another few moments to introduce themselves once again. Rose, I'm going to start ladies first. Rose Davis, go ahead and please reintroduce yourself a little bit more detailed than you did a moment ago.
Thank you, Darren. Again, Rose Davis. I'm with the Western Regional Minority Supplier Development Council. We just simply say WRMSDC. We are one of 12 councils within the national body of the National Minority Supplier Development Council, and our region covers all of Nevada, Northern California, and Hawaii for certifying, developing, connecting, and advocating for ethnic minority-owned businesses. I was born and raised right here in North Las Vegas, grew up here, went to school here, and really, really connected and want this community to succeed, as well as all of our small businesses that have the desire and capability to bring value to businesses in corporate America.
Thank you, Rose. I am so glad that you were here. And yes, having been born and raised in Vegas, we grew up in some of the same circles. So it is always good to see you. Miss Kenyatta Lewis, please give us a more detailed introduction of yourself, if you would, please.
Good morning again, everyone. Again, I'm Kenyatta Lewis with MGM Resorts International. I think you've met the rest of my team, because it seemed like after every so many, it was like MGM. We should have just said, all the way through. But so delighted to be here with you all today. I am in the Global Procurement Office here at MGM. I've been with the company. This year is 21 years, 19 of those years leading this program. And there are many new faces that were on the screen, but our role really is to identify and connect certified minority, women, disadvantaged, LGBTQ, veteran, disabled owned businesses into our procurement processes here in Southern Nevada, and then nationally as well on the East Coast, as well as down south and in the Midwest where we have resorts. So delighted to be here with you all today and looking forward to share a little bit more later. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And David Eclipse, he just read the alphabet when he introduced himself. And I'm not as bright as the rest of the panel. They just let me be the moderator. I don't know why, but I'm not going to question it any further than I just did. So David, what the heck do you do?
Dan, you know I love you, right? So first off, folks, this panel here, this is a powerhouse panel. Again, my name is David Eclipse with McCarran International Airport. Here goes the alphabet soup. I'm the DBE and ACDBE liaison officer for the state of Nevada. Okay, the alphabet soup, what does it stand for? DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification. ACDBE, Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification. And these certifications is a federal certification under the Department of Transportation. My office is in here at McCarran International Airport on the 3rd floor. And I cannot thank enough for being on this panel with these lovely ladies here today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, David, for being here. Thank you, Kenyatta and Rose, of course, for being here. And so we're going to dive right in. Again, we're going to have what I hope to be a very conversational discussion because this is not at all my area of expertise. So this means I get to ask questions and let you do what you do best and explain what you do. I know our guests, we're going to open it up for questions. Before I do that, before I go further, on your screen, at the bottom of the screen, next to the chat button, there is a Q&A feature there. And so if you have a question or something comes up, please use that. I will do my best to monitor. No, leave me here. I will do my best to monitor that to ensure that your question gets answered because we want to make sure that this remains orderly and productive. And so with that being said, let's see here. There we go. Yes, I'm monitoring the chat and the Q&A and my agenda. This is why they put me in charge, because they think I can do more than one thing at a time. So Rose, Kenyatta, David, this goes out to all three of you. And I know you each have different areas in where you work. So tell us what certification that you offer specifically and who is eligible to apply for those. And I'm going to go ladies first again, David, because I know you're a gentleman. Kenyatta, go ahead and answer that, please, if you would address that. You want to go ahead and unmute, please?
Yeah, the hard part about being in corporate America is you have three screens and you're trying to figure out where's that little mouse on one of those three screens to unclick it. So thank you so much. So I would tell you that we at MGM, we lean heavily and partner with those like Rose at the WRMSDC to provide the MBE certifications. As I mentioned, we're looking at certifications from the state, from what David focuses on with minorities, women, disadvantaged, veteran. And it's just really important to us to partner with these organizations as the guides and who hold the standard. We don't do certification ourselves and we don't allow self-certification. We don't accept self-certification. So you can't come and say, look, I'm an African-American woman that's a veteran. You want to do business with me? I'm going to ask you, have you gone to see one of these two organizations as well as some others in order to come through this port of supplier diversity?
Got it. That's very important because it's not just enough to be in one of those categories. You got to actually certify that you are qualified because as Rose said, and I'm sure she's going to say it again, not only do you have to have the desire, which I keyed in on, she also said the capability. And I think that is actually what we're addressing is having that capability. So Rose, please address the certification that you offer and who's eligible to work with you.
Sure. The certification that WRMSDC offers is a minority business enterprise. And you hear minority a lot, so let me get specific. It is ethnic minority businesses that are African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, or Native American. Those are the ethnicities that we certify. And what we're certifying is we're making sure that you own and control that company, that you're not a silent partner, that you didn't just put money into the company, but you're not really active in the day-to-day operations of that company. And so we're validating that third party as a third party, that information. The certification is a nationally recognized certification. So if you have a footprint that's outside of Nevada, or you have a desire and zeal to do business outside of Nevada, this certification is a nationally recognized certification that you can do business with other corporations in other states and Puerto Rico and Guam.
Awesome. Thank you. Forgive me for giving such a one-word response because it's a lot of information. And so it is, in fact, quite awesome. And I want to ask a question before I go to David, to address the initial question. You were both very succinct and direct on speaking about what a minority business is or who qualifies in that category of minority. And you very specifically said ethnic minority, which is very important because it's very important to clarify who we're talking about here. And one of the guests asked, would Russians be considered in those categories?
Not for the WRMSDC.
Okay.
they would not be. And I have a long detailed list of the different regions that would classify to potentially fit into that area. The other thing is that, you know, the important thing is that you know your business, you know what you can bring, and then you know the needs and desires that corporate America, companies like MGM Resorts may need, and then you know how you could fit into bringing that value. That's really important to do. We do a lot of development, we do a lot of advocacy and helping you kind of get ready and prepared to do business with corporate America. 2/3 of the minority business enterprises that have gotten certified through the NMSDC family have said that they have received increased business and opportunity as a result of being MBE certified. So I think those are really, really great. That's 67% of the folks that have gotten certified said, oh, okay, yeah, this is helping me. But you got to work it too. And Kenyatta and others will say, it's not this magic wand that, you know, contracts are going to mysteriously come falling out of the air. It is a tool. It is a tool within your whole toolbox arsenal of being able to get access to opportunities. That's what I call it. It is a tool for access.
I like it. So it's not a magic wand. None of you has one of the wizard hats with the stars and the moon on it and a wand sitting behind your desk or behind one of those 3 monitors. So if you go through the process of getting certified in these different, with all this alphabet soup, as David so eloquently put it, excuse me, it doesn't mean that the contracts come pouring in. There's still more footwork that I've got to do. I can't just get certified and it just happens, right?
Right. And let me just add another thing that a viable business, I encourage people, unless you got something innovative, totally wonderful and wow, I really encourage you to wait 2 years. I wouldn't get certified once you just open and start a business, even though we do certify startups. I just want to emphasize the certification will be more value to you once you've kind of settled into the ebbs and flows. You've got operational efficiencies and all of those things happening. So I encourage you to, I put my information in the chat. I will put it in again, but I encourage you, I take 15-minute, quick conversations with folks, but I want you to fish for yourself. And our website is very robust with information and frequently asked questions that we have, you know, accumulated over the years of different things that people have asked. I'm going to put that information in the chat again. And then if you think that certification is for you and you've got some specific questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me and schedule some time for us to chat.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Darren, if you don't mind, I'd like to add to what Ms. Rose has stated. And it's also very important before you embark on this journey of going through certification, that you really assess who is your target audience, your target market, and your client base, and do they even recognize or acknowledge certification? So we're in the private sector and ours is voluntary. But there are other gaming companies or hospitality companies that it may not necessarily matter to them. So I would say scan through who your target list is, who your clients are, and see if this matters to them. And then you would know whether or not you can even leverage that when you take it to them, because some don't even know what it is.
Amen.
Awesome. This is valuable information. David, I'm just going to open it up because they've covered a lot of things. I just asked one question. I know that you've got a plethora of knowledge. That's not the right word. A cornucopia of knowledge. That's better on this. So please, insights on the benefits of getting certified, etc.
The ladies covered a lot of the areas that is entitled for the DBE certification. Okay, but the DBE certification and the ACDBE certification is very stringent because it's a federal certification under the DOT. Number one is Miss Rose covered it already, is the control of the company. 51% or more. We want no fly, like she said, fly by night. We need to see it. That's number one. Number two is a personal net worth. Okay, the company majority owner or the disadvantaged owner cannot exceed 1.32 million on personal net worth, which excludes the business. Okay, so we want to make sure that our P&W form is filled out correctly, and that validates that you do not meet or exceed the threshold of 1.32 million. Okay, and same that goes with the airport concessions disadvantaged business enterprise. Same restrictions, same regulations that we have to follow by.
Awesome. I'm going to go out to the audience. Let's see, Miss Ewing. Miss Ewing, you had a question. I see your hand up. Go ahead and unmute and please pose your question.
Actually, I have a comment wanting to thank the panelists and everybody doing the small business. So I've actually been a licensed architect for over 30 years, very active when I was younger, private sector work only, and then took a little more than a decade off for all kinds of personal reasons in the 2009 clash. And then someone encouraged me to get my women-owned certificate and maybe explore government work. So in early 2019, I joined the Clark County SBOP group, and I think, I don't know if it was Rose or Kenyatta called it a journey, and that's what I would say started my journey to understand the opportunities that might be for me, and also my opportunity to help others that might be interested in an architecture degree, and then also small businesses I might want to start, which Arte grew out of that. So my whole point, and for instance, David Eclipse was kind enough to spend at least 30 minutes with me on the phone a good year ago. And in order to know what we qualify for, or even whom, like whether it's MGM or whom we might want to serve as a small business or target, or even help others, like how do you help others qualify to be a small business? You have to just jump in. And so I want to thank, in fact, that's how I did to the Urban Chamber. Delisa was most kind to me over a year ago. I just like blindly emailed her and she emailed back, and here I still am jumping into these. So I just want to thank you for all these resources, and to encourage people, even when they're not sure as small businesses, or any of you out there that know people that might be interested, to encourage, because I have probably given 200, maybe even way more than that, people just links to small business and how to do it. And one of the things that shocked me as a small entrepreneur, you may or may not qualify for all the acronyms that David has, or Rose, who she's specifically trying to help. But the level to qualify for a small business is quite high, the amount of money that your company can earn. And I think there's many people out there that don't realize that if they only jumped into the small business realm themselves, there's so much information and connections like we're doing today, but how to grow your business and how to be helpful and bank connections in telling other people. So I'm not quite sure what the point of this, other than encourage everyone you know to consider these opportunities and to check into them, and also to say I appreciate the Urban and Kenyatta. We have never met, but I have listened to you a dozen times in different things, and I think just all of this information, you build it up and you become a source for yourself, but others. So I just want to say thank you, really, and you're doing a good job. And David Eclipse, you're the nicest man I've ever talked to on the phone. And we still have never met because it was early COVID and we may never, but thank you for your time. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. We're so glad to know that this information is valuable and that it has had an effect even before we did this. So I can't wait to hear the stories that will come out of this, folks that are here now, made the connections that they came to make, and are able to grow their business. And I like the fact that both Kenyatta and Rose made very clear, look, these are great opportunities for an established business or up and running business. Nothing wrong with startups. You got to start somewhere. But this is a step, this is a tool in the arsenal, as it were. But make sure that you have your business up and running, because that just makes sense. So I'm glad that you put that out there. And so what the question I'm gonna ask, because they gave me some questions and I want to make sure I finish my homework, as it were. What is the benefit in terms of getting a business or procurement opportunities with your certification? So what are some of the benefits of certification. So David, I'm going to go out to you to answer that, to start us off on some of those benefits of getting in the alphabet soup.
Benefits of certification. Number one is you have it, and it's good to have it and not have it when you need it. Case in point, where you are going against a bid for a contract on federal funded projects, for FAA projects, for example. Okay, there are set aside goals that are geared towards certain trades: trucking, construction, underground, and so on. And one of the goals is there's a DBE goal associated with that contract in order to search for local businesses. Okay, for airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise certifications, it's highly recommended to have that, because our concession manager, which is HMS Host, they rely on having the company become ACDBE certified. Okay, that's one of the areas they look for, not for just Vegas, but also nationwide. Okay, you don't want to be that company that does not have certifications, all the alphabet soup that we're talking about. Okay, because I'll be honest with you, if someone comes to me and say, David, I need this certification within a week, my answer is going to tell you no, because it takes some time to get reviewed of the application, going through the process of conducting a site interview, and then bringing it to the Nevada Unified Certification Program Board for approval. There are 6 agencies in the state that look for approvals for these certifications.
Kenyatta. No, go ahead, Rose. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
This is your panel.
I'll just jump in, after David. David is the king of certification.
No.
I am like doing all hails and everything. He is so knowledgeable and such a champion and advocate for small businesses. A lot of people say, I look African American. Why do I have to go and get certified to be able to validate that I am a minority-owned business? But I want you to kind of like turn the hat and think about that corporation that you have a desire and capability to do business with. Like MGM Resorts here. MGM is serious about inclusion of diverse businesses. But they are going to report that up within their corporation, and they're going to report it out within the community. So that's why they require the third party, because they want to make sure that the numbers that they are reporting are relevant, real, and accurate. One of the things that this certification does, when I talk about the access, there are over 3,000 corporations within the NMSDC network that have a desire to do business with businesses of color. Even more specific, Black and brown businesses, especially after last year's social injustice and everything. Companies realize we have to make sure we are intentional in making sure our supply chains are inclusive of everyone and inclusive throughout, not just women, 60% of the spend within the overall program, but that everyone has a seat or an opportunity at the table. Within our network, we have over 100 large corporations, from Airbnbs to Apple to Facebook. Anyone that you probably want to do business with is certified within the WRMSDC, and they're actively looking for qualified minority businesses that can bring them value and an edge up within their industry.
Rose, I'm gonna send you a check. I'm gonna send Rose a check in the mail, but it'll get there in time for Christmas. So you know what? I want to come from a corporate perspective. Why is it important? Why is certification important to MGM? And just as Rose had already mentioned, we have these goals. Our diversity initiative at MGM is voluntary. And we're not required by government here in Las Vegas or anyone to have this inclusion program, but we're trending against our goals, and we're intentionally ensuring that each of those ethnic groups are represented throughout our supply chain. And so right now, what we've identified as we've opened our books and looked, that there seems to be, just here in Las Vegas, we don't have equal representation of African Americans, although we're trending very well on the overall diversity initiative. As a company, intentionally looking at each of those different groups to ensure that they are equally represented. And that's why MGM has partnered with Some New Marketing, and we are launching our campaign, which is called Bet on Inclusion. We're focused on African American businesses in Las Vegas for our Strip resorts. That's important to us because as we go out publicly and announce these goals, we want to be sure that we are doing this with integrity, that it is not just one demographic that is really represented there. A benefit of certification is when you get certified and you do business with MGM, it allows us to make sure that we are pointing those dollars, those awards, that we can properly track those to identify our impact within the community. Also, as we talk about the network, I think someone put in the chat, like, what's the benefit of the network? Well, as Rosa said, Apple, Dell, you name the company, if they have a supplier diversity program, we're like cousins. And so for one of those, like David's my cousin, I think at least once a week, he's forwarding me a supplier that's saying, hey, here's a certified diverse-owned business that may be able to work with MGM. You maximize your reach when you have a certification because we share that information. At least once a week, I'm on the phone with Starbucks, Kaiser Permanente, or P&G, Major League Baseball, or Louis Vuitton. They all have supplier diversity programs, and we share that. So the benefit to you is if you're in with one, you can get referred to others if you are working well, and you're in good standing. So I would say the downside is having the certification and not having the value or knowing who your target audience is, but just having that paper. That doesn't work. But I think you can really leverage the network and the paperwork in the system for those who have goals, who are intentional, and who are reporting it publicly. And as I end, I will tell you that we just launched our new Supplier Sustainability. It's our Sustainability and Social Impact Report. You'll find it on mgmresorts.com. We'll put it in the chat. You can read through everything that MGM is doing in the community and then what our goals are. And then you know how to attract or how to connect with the corporation based on that information.
Thank you, Kenyatta. I want to stay with you for just a second, Kenyatta, and first of all, I want to thank the panel for being just as active in the chat and addressing questions either in the chat or verbally that are being put out there. I thank you for doing that. I've done some panels before where they don't do that, so thank you. I appreciate that. But I want to stay with Kenyatta for just a second because one of the questions that came up, and this is a two-part question. I don't know if they go together or not, but one of the questions came up, is there a mentorship program specific to being well, first off, I'm sorry, before I even ask my question, I want to thank Kenyatta specifically because she said something that I don't know if everyone caught this. And I'm gonna put it in my words, not hers. MGM ain't got to do this. They're not required to do this. There are government entities, and of course, no disrespect to anyone else here, that they have requirements that they are mandated to diversify their funding. MGM, she just said it real clear, like, I don't know if I'm the only one that caught it, that we ain't got to do this, but they have a heart for that. They have, Rose, a desire to work with different diverse groups. And so I want to give kudos to MGM, not just because there's 12 of them here, but because they obviously are making sure that they are being diverse with their funding and with their opportunities. But that being said, one of the questions in the chat is there a mentorship program of some sort for these certifications within MGM?
So very good question. We have a mentorship program that we launched in 2016, and that is another benefit of certification. If you're an active supplier with MGM Resorts, you're in good standing, you've been in business for, as Rose had stated, 2 years or more, and your business revenue is over $1 million. You're not just with MGM, but just $1 million. We do have a 6-month mentorship program where a WRMSDC, as well as the Women's Business Council, partners with us, and business owners are paired with an executive within MGM Resorts. And we also help to conduct a SWOT analysis on your business and make sure that wherever there are gaps, that we use our knowledge within our executive ranks to support the businesses. We will, it is by invitation, meaning those who are in the vendor base of MGM, they are eligible to apply for that. And we will launch that in another month, I believe. Stephanie can correct me, she's leading that effort. But we have graduated already 18 businesses from that program this year. We are looking to expand that number to approximately 25 businesses.
That is awesome. See, I told you they ain't got to do it, but they did. Rose, go ahead. I see it on your face.
Darren, I just wanted to interject just to let everyone know that this is not a certification competition. All the certifications are valuable for your business, depending upon what your business strategy is and who you want to do business with. So for the MBE certification underneath the NMSDC, WRMSDC, if you have a desire to have a broader footprint, there are no size limitations for our businesses. We have businesses that are, 2 billion in revenue. We want them to increase in capacity because as those businesses grow, they're hiring folks. That is the impact of the supplier diversity initiatives. It's the impact within the community to be able to strengthen our community. When people are able to be hired and these organizations are paying a living wage, meaning not minimum wage, but competitive wages, you're able to get access to health care. You're able to send your kids to college. You're able to build wealth in communities of color. And now that, minorities are the majority here in Nevada and California and other states, this is real. And so corporations understand that it is imperative that they leave no one behind and make sure that they're including communities of color at the table within their supply chains.
I like what you said there about the fact that so-called minorities aren't necessarily the minority any longer. So to me, this is Darren speaking at the Urban Chamber or Legal Shield. To me, it's important that so-called minorities are having conversations like the one we're having so that we can direct our funds into things that are important to our specific communities and helping the community at large. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. That's not the time for that right now. But there was a question in the chat that I have no idea what it even means. It's another part of that alphabet soup that David coined. Does anyone do WOB 8A certification? I have no idea what the heck that is, so help me out, or help out the person that asked that question.
8A certification. Hey, I can try this one. Okay, so they're looking for the 8A certification. That is through the Small Business Administration, the SBA office. Is that what they're looking for, Darren? I can't see it.
I hope so. It says WOB 8A. I have no idea what that means. I know y'all the alphabet kings.
Maybe it's the WOSB. Maybe it's the WOSB. It's the Woman-Owned Small Business Certification that the federal government came out with a few years ago. And it is taking the certification. It's a new branch that's really, coming up.
It's a women's own business certification.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's primary because there's a lot of government programs that are set aside specifically for woman-owned small businesses within the 8A or the SBA program.
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
See, I knew y'all would know. Y'all the alphabet family right here. This is the powerhouse panel for a reason. So with that being said, one of the questions that I like to ask, and it's been touched on and addressed, but I want to kind of hone in on it. What is one concrete step that businesses can take to prepare to submit their certification? And I'm just gonna throw it out there, whoever buzzes in first. You know?
I don't do certification, but what's a shocker and an aha for me from the corporate space when people come back and say they cannot get certified, it's because they don't actually control the business. They may have the title of owner, of CEO, but they can't fire and hire at the board level. The board controls that. And they don't manage the books, you know, so meaning not manage it, but they don't have the final say. And there are many that even, you know, on some certifications where I have gone and done a site visit on behalf of one of the agencies, you know, you see where they say that they're the owner, but their office is a closet, and the majority non-minority is sitting in the office like mine. And you're saying something doesn't look right here, and you should know it. So if you can't fire, you can't hire, you can't write a check, you don't control it. You might own it, you might operate, but somebody else is in control.
Amen, Kenyatta. Thank you for sharing that. The last piece of the certification process, I tell everyone, we have a document on our website. It tells you all the documents you need depending upon your corporation structure. If you're a corporation or a partnership or sole proprietorship, it's going to tell you the documents that you need. Assemble all those documents together before you start. You count up the cost. Don't just get in there and start typing in stuff, because you know what happens? Life happens and you don't finish the certification. It just go, and after a certain amount of time, we're going to purge them out. So I encourage you to look and see what's required, assemble all of the documentation. Everything is done online, and then just take a little time to complete the application. There are also organizations that will help you if you don't feel comfortable with that type of paperwork. There are organizations here, Monica Coburn, Nevada Business Advisory, will assist you with that for a cost. But I agree with Kenyatta. You have to own and control. I'm the last point between you and certification. I actually do the site visits, and I've denied a lot because I can tell that person didn't know. If you don't know what your sales are annually, and if you don't know what your top 3 customers are, you probably are not owning and operating and controlling that business.
So to caveat on what the ladies just talked about, first Kenyatta, then Miss Davis, you know what? They are spot on. And I'll be honest to tell you right now, okay? Full disclosure is a key, especially going through the DBE certification. Okay, I'm looking right everybody at the owners of this panel right here, not the panel, but the attendees. Okay, so with the DBE certification, there's, like Ms. Davis said, there's a checklist also for what you need to provide. Kenyatta mentioned it right there. Ownership. Okay, I'll be honest with you, folks. We look at your taxes. Taxes don't lie. Okay, for your taxes, I either look at the Schedule C or I look at the K1s. If I don't see the dispersion of ownership or percentage that you have for your business, I'm going to question it. Okay. Like I stated, full disclosure is a big thing, because like what Ms. Davis does, I also do the on-sites as well. Okay. And I catch people, I call them on the carpet. Okay. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest about your company, and you got to be serious about your company. This is not a fly-by-night certification. And I'm, like a friend told me, I'm keeping it real to everybody. So thank you, Darren.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think it has been made very clear that if you are not a for real serious business, you need not apply. This is the big boy group, as one of my mentors would say. And no disrespect to the smaller group. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and that's and I have a great deal of respect for any level of business. I mean, even there have been 2 folks on here that mentioned that they literally just took the leap to start their own business, and so great deal of respect, great heart for those folks that take that leap, whether on purpose or on accident. And it's so also good to have this information in your Rolodex, in your file, so that as you grow, you know that these are different, as everyone has said, tools you can put into your toolbox as you grow. And so this has been just absolutely amazing and wonderful. I know that I'm not ready yet. I'm okay with that. I appreciate learning that today. Y'all were nice about it. But but what I would like to ask, and this goes out to Kenyatta, and I'm not sure if this has been addressed in some other way or not, but what is the Bet on Inclusion program, and why is that important?
Thanks so much for asking that question. As I mentioned, our voluntary program, we do have goals. MGM has a goal that by the year 2025, we want 10% of our biddable domestic spend to be with certified diverse-owned businesses. We're at about 9.5% right now. And so it's getting over that hump. And most frankly, I believe we're going to get over that hump and we're going to move that goal out even farther. The Bet on MGM program and this campaign, as I said, is to go deeper, to really understand where are the dollars being spent within the diversity program, and is each of the demographics appropriately represented, not just for opportunities, but also for bid awards. And we've identified that African Americans here locally in Las Vegas is woefully underrepresented. So again, we've partnered with Some New Marketing and the Urban Chamber to do these grassroots efforts to identify local African American businesses, to identify what are the goods and services that they provide, and how does that match to what MGM needs. In the future, in the next month or so, at the end of this month, you'll see that there's a lot of marketing that will be coming out, asking businesses to register with us, to have some roundtables, not just with supplier diversity, but with department decision makers to talk about their business. But it's really important from Keep It Real Ministries that you must be business ready. Use all the resources that are on the line, making sure that you have a game plan, that you have competitive nature. It's our job to get you to the table and make sure that you are there. But once we get you to the table, it's kind of like mama taking you to kindergarten. She has to take hands off and back up and let the teacher do what they do. And so we have to take hands off and allow you to be in that sourcing process, and just trusting that everything that we've provided, the information that we provided to you about the culture, that you're going to thrive. So this outreach is to make sure that we know who's in the community, and so that we can properly prepare them to be at the table for MGM opportunities, not now and in the future. I hope I didn't speak too long, but I wanted to make sure that I was direct.
No, there's no such thing as too long when it's good information, and clearly that is what's happening here. Because my main role as the moderator, and I'm using my finger quotes because this has been anything but moderate, this has been extraordinary, is to ensure that we stay timely. But I also understand that when there's good information, sometimes you just got to keep eating because it's so good. And then you just digest it all later. And yes, I do understand that there will be a copy of this webinar made available at some point in some way, somehow. So please check the Urban Chamber website and the Urban Chamber office for those details. So,
Darren, can I interject really quickly?
Yes,
Sure.
you can do whatever you want, Rose.
I just, when Kenyatta always feeds me, we've been like, joined at the hip for so many years. It's like she just feeds me. And one of the things that she said, one of the reasons why I love my position within the WRMSDC is because I wear both hats. I'm hearing MBEs share with me their capabilities. Mario Aguilera here, he emails me all the time, sharing with me capabilities that he's added, who he's doing business with. So I stay in the know, but I'm on the corporate side too. And I'm hearing the corporations tell me what they need, what industries that they categories that they're challenged in finding minority inclusion. So I'm hearing both sides, which is just amazing. And I'm able to, give someone a call to say, hey, you may want to check out that opportunity over there, get connected. I'm able to kind of, make sure and help them and guide them to those opportunities, because I'm hearing both sides of the hat. I'm hearing the corporations share their challenges. We do have a corporate ready mentor program. lots of scholarships available because corporations have stepped up. So once you become part of our family, this Corporate Ready program is 6 months, and it's put together by the corporations that have told us what they need from a diverse business, any business, to do business with them corporate ready. What do they need? And that's the mentorship program that we have. We're getting you corporate ready.
Look, I would be clapping right now, but I'm trying to hold it in. There's a question in the chat that I don't think was addressed directly, even though we've talked about mentorship. We've talked about different ways to get certified. We've talked about different reasons and resources available to get certified. But the phrase that I didn't hear, or word that I didn't hear, that I want to address because it was asked in the chat is, would any of you recommend an outside consultant to facilitate some of these introductions to corporations? And then, of course, Nick went on to explain one of his clients that is looking to grow in that direction and wants to have an idea of if that is a good routes to take. And I apologize, Nick, for shortening your question, but I hope that I got the point across.
I'm not for sure. So he's saying that his company wants to hire an outside consultant to represent him to get connected to corporations.
One of his clients. He has a client. And so companies that are certified as MBE, do you recommend they hire outside consultants to facilitate introductions with corporations? And then he goes, and that's actually directly what he wrote. He went on to say that he has a software client who is looking to add to their repertoire and better. And let me see here. And then how would they vet those consultants to ensure that they're getting help, getting the proper help? So
I would just say a warm introduction is always better than a cold introduction. A warm introduction, someone that knows you, that can vouch for you, that could do a virtual introduction or meet now that it's open, get you together for coffee or a meal. A warm introduction is always better. But I will not introduce you if you don't have a capability statement, if you're not corporate ready, if you don't have a website, if you have a Yahoo or Gmail, I will get you corporate ready, but you're not if you're still having Gmail and Yahoo email accounts, you've already answered the question that you're not corporate ready, because corporations look at that as a risk that something may happen that will, kind of compromise an operation or something within their, within the back end. So if you're ready, and if you know where you can fit in for that organization, I am more than happy to make that connection. I will tell you that corporations don't want you to sell. Corporations want you to build, as Shondell Newsom says, real relationships. Get to know them, get to understand them. Have you stayed in a room at the MGM resorts? Have you gone to a show? Do you know their pain points? Those are the things that when Kenyatta actually gets a meeting for you, you're able to go in there prepared and ready to articulate that value that you can bring to them.
Hey, and Darren, thanks for that, Rose. I haven't stayed in one of those beds in a while myself, so I'm gonna have to talk to the husband. So
staycation.
But I'm looking back at Nick's question, and Nick, it's great to see your words on the screen. I know you have that $1 million smile, haven't seen it in a while. I think the question, the way I was interpreting it was, if you are a business owner, would you hire someone almost as a salesperson to serve as your supplier diversity or your diversity advocate that kind of goes as a salesman to advocate on behalf of your business, to make those connections and to network? That's what all I would see it as someone hiring someone to represent their business that may have that as a skill set, the gift of gab and networking. That can be a positive and a negative. A positive because if that person is committed to your business, then they are going to get you access and get more opportunities. The downside of that is that person in turn builds the relationship. And when they leave, so do those relationships. And your business misses out. And so you still don't necessarily have that connection. So I would say depends on the size of the business. If it's grassroots, if it's a small business, grassroots efforts just have to manage the calendar and allocate how many times per week you're going to touch those corporations to build meaningful relationships and be very targeted. I would not outsource that. I would not depend on somebody else to do that for my business. But if bigger, have the resources, consider it more of a sales, just need to make sure that there is these frequent, like 2 to 3 times a week touch points with that person to really identify who they're contacting, who they're engaging with, and what's the next step so that you stay engaged with it. And that's for free.
Awesome. Look, I ran out of paper for notes. I've taken all the notes I can take, and it's almost time for us to wrap up. But before we do, I want to again thank our panel. I want to thank all of our attendees who are here getting all of this information under our usual, or a normal is relative, our usual format. We would spotlight some members. We would make a bunch of announcements of other things that are upcoming, but we changed that because this is obviously a very, very big topic, obviously very well needed in the business community. And so again, I have to thank all of our panelists for being here and pouring out the knowledge that they have and that they share, and they shared it with all of us. And so I will encourage everyone for future events such as our virtual connect, which will be next Thursday, such as other ducks in a row and other programs that we have at the chamber to help you get prepared for some of the opportunities that you've learned of today. All of that information is available on the Urban Chamber website, urbanchamber.org. What I'm going to ask everyone to do as we wrap up is, if you haven't done it already, do what Brandon is doing right now. He's reading my mind. Is put your contact information in the chat once again, especially our panelists, because I know that there are many more questions that are out there, and I'd like for them to have the opportunity, where appropriate, to contact all of our panelists for further information. I know Kenyatta has a whole team out there. You know, you got a whole lot of steps to get to her. I understand that, and I appreciate all of you taking of your time. And so with that being said, I'm going to go back out to our panel one last time for any final words, last words, or any other pieces of information that we don't yet have that you think that we need or has not been discussed. And so David, I'm going to switch the roles a little bit and ask you to go first.
All right, so thank you again for this this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing I can do. I can tell you, resources. You have the resources at your disposal. Use us, okay? We are there for you. So that's my pitch, Darren. But again, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, David. And of course, I asked you to go first because, you know, we want to make sure the ladies have the last word as always. So with that, I'm just serious. I'm going to see, let the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Kenyatta, please go ahead. Any last words, closing thoughts? It's on. Yes. It's the one on the left.
So I will say, I'm gonna put a plug in for the crew that's working hard for us on the street. If you see some new, then it's got to be connected to MGMs, because we want to hear from you in the community. So please make sure that you stay connected with the Urban Chamber with some new marketing in order to get connected with MGM. We really, and if it's not you, it might be someone that you know. Please let them know that MGM is looking for Black-owned businesses. And thank you all for being here today. I learned a lot too, a lot of resources.
Awesome. Rose?
I'm gonna plug something new as well. Something new is a certified WRMSDC MBE. They are certified through our council and have gone all the way to the top to be the national MBE Supplier of the Year at the national level. So they can talk to you about that value and the access and the opportunities that they've gotten because of that. Oops, sorry, everyone. I want to share that we know that it's been a very difficult year last year. one of the things that our council has done is that all of our events are free, not just to minority-owned business, but to any diverse business. You can go there and you can apply to participate. We have an expo coming up in August, but if you're LGBTQ+, if you're MBE, if you're WBE, if you're veteran-owned, all of our events are free to any diverse business. And that's because we've got some corporations that are part of our family that are serious about helping all the diverse businesses get through this pandemic. So I encourage you to go there, complete the form or whatever, and be a part of this year for us. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Urban Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Darren. I remember Darren when he went to Sunday school with his little nicks on with his dad and ma. And now look at you. I am so very proud of the man, family man, businessman you have become, Darren. Amen.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you for being part of my tribe and my circle in those young years. Thank you for you and yours. Yes, I grew up on going to Second Baptist and Victory and all the other churches that are in Alphabet City. But speaking of alphabet soup, sincerely, thank you. You'll make me blush. But I want to thank our panel once again, and for everyone. I thank you for putting your information in. Hey, Kevin's here. Thank you, Kevin. Didn't see you jump in. I want to thank everyone for attending today. I want to encourage everyone to save the chat. Save the chat. If you're on a PC, right under the chat, there's a button with 3 dots on it where it'll say more, and you can save the chat, which is what I just did. And the reason that you're going to do that is because now that you have the chat where everyone put their information in, you can contact them directly. Now, here's what I'm going to encourage everyone to do. When you're reaching out to all of the guests and our panelists, as I said earlier, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to call up David and say, hey, David, buy my widget. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. David is much too important to that, as well as Kenyatta and Rose, for you to do that. What we are going to do with everyone, because I know there were several people that are here and saw connections and value in the information that was shared, is we're all going to call each other, email, what have you. Hey, I met you at Coffee and Commerce, the virtual Coffee and Commerce, and I'd love to get together for a virtual coffee or a face-to-face if both parties are comfortable doing that, so that I can learn more about what you do, share more about what I do, so that we can build that network. As Kenyatta said, you definitely do not want to hire someone else out to do that. You definitely don't want to leave that to chance to someone else. And Christina, you're right. I didn't do what I asked everyone else to do because I was too busy talking. So I'm going to put my information in the chat as quickly as I can, and give you all an opportunity to reach out to me. And no, I don't have a Gmail. I mean, I do have a Gmail account, but I'm not going to put my Gmail account in the chat because Rose told me not to. Bam. All right, there you go, Christina, because you're one of the people that I need to make sure that we meet. And so I didn't have an opportunity. Let me also, since Christina's asking for my information, let me make sure that I do everything that I said or recommended that we each do, which is, let me see here, make sure that I put my direct link into my Calendly as well. So I put my contact information in my cell phone, my email, and my calendar. So please feel free to jump onto my calendar, make an appointment so that, as I said, we can get together, spend a few minutes. I can learn about what your business is. You can learn about what I do and learn about each other so that we can continue to build these real relationships. Raven, make sure Shondell knows that I use this phrase, real relationships, here amongst the Urban Chamber of Commerce, amongst the business community at large. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.